This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in the business Grow. We are in Denver, Colorado. I am here with Jim and Jared. Small business is your business. Since 2007, you have been providing a way for businesses to grow, which I imagine is a big deal, but even more so today. Jared, why is this important today compared to, let's say, just 10 years ago?
It's far more difficult to run a small business in this kind of economy. It's kind of like swimming upstream. Now is the time when our services and any help is definitely appreciated.
Let me ask you, Jim, before we jump into the nuts and bolts of what you guys offer for people out there, at what stage of the game should these small businesses be bringing you on board? Are we talking about in the mind of the entrepreneur, or are we talking about later on when the business is first developed?
Yes. That's the real answer. Either way, we think that beginning with the end in mind is always the best idea. So if we happen to catch a business in the very early stages, I think that's ideal. The real world doesn't work that way. A lot of businesses are 2 or 3 years into their business model or operating plans and find out that not quite what they thought it would be. We can help there too.
And not only that, but we're talking about be it in the mind of the entrepreneur or a business going, but also an exit strategy. Let's say I'm in this business and I want to get out of it. Does that work well as well?
Absolutely. And that's one of those things you got to start with the end in mind. So having your exit plan kind of thought out when you're starting the business is very important. We can kind of pick it up anywhere along that continuum.
Like you said earlier, it's kind of swimming upstream. I imagine businesses out there anymore, they're so concentrated on that front end and making sure it's doing what it needs to do. But it's that back end that a lot of times get kind of pushed to the side. And quite honestly, it's the whole machine behind it. Do you find that as well?
Absolutely. That's one of the places where business owners start to kind of detach, at times resent their companies. They end up spending so much time doing that back office work, just becomes more of a job as opposed to the excitement that they felt when they first started the business. What our goal is to pull all of that off of their plate and allow them to focus back on what it is that they love to do, the reason that they started that business in the first place.
I think you're absolutely right. Entrepreneurs out there get involved because of the passion of something they do, and they do very well. And then they realize that they're in a business, and honestly, business means profit and the bottom line. So let's jump right into accounting. What do you guys offer there as far as accounting services?
Accounting is kind of an historical process, so we believe in probably a lot more than accounting. We think the accounting system should function in the background smoothly and really not even be thought about. Ideally, our business owners may not even know what accounting system they're using. Then we drive it a little further. We take all that accounting data and try and use it to project the future a little more accurately, move towards that end that they either have or we help them get that vision. It's much, much more than accounting. Although it's a time-consuming process and it can be complex, all of that should be off the business owner's plate and put it on our plate. We're good at it. We've got more important things to worry about.
Wonderful. And so obviously if the numbers are the heartbeat of the business, if you will, it's the people out there. Tell me what you guys offer in the way of HR and payroll and that type of thing.
We can really service them and help them stay in compliance. Things like insurance, as I'm sure everybody knows, is an ever-changing game that small businesses have to play. We can bring in experts, and we can really be a resource for anything from HR to accounting to systems, anything that they need. We see this every day with all different companies and all different industries, so we can really provide a lot of guidance in any of those different facets.
Payroll has got to be one place that a person can actually get in trouble if you don't know what's going on right.
Absolutely. We've got a fantastic payroll vendor that we use. Can cut those prices as well. Really provide a great service. Again, pulling it off of that business owner's plate, getting it done right without a hassle or concern.
What I like about your concept, you don't look at yourselves as independent away from the business. You're actually an extension of that business. You partner up with them. What do you guys provide in the way of coaching, consulting, that type of thing?
Business coaching, it happens. That's not our main thrust. Our main thrust at this time, we're simply focusing on taking off the back end. Our business concept, we free up the small business owner from day-to-day things. Their saved time and attention and energy should be focused on customer-facing side of the business, revenue generation, and the direct cost of providing their product or service. It's not always obvious how to do that.
And I imagine what you're looking at here is the goal of the actual business owner. I know a lot of entrepreneurs out there, myself, we don't want to give up control of our business. And then overall, we end up losing control, not only that, but possibly losing the business as well. Tell me about your small business help desk.
It's really being that resource. resource. And I think everything that you said is correct. A lot of small business owners really do struggle to give up control, and that forces them to stay small. There's a lot of small businesses that reach a size that's perfect for them, and that's where they want to be. So we really spend some time figuring out what their goals are, what it is that they want to get out of their small business. If they want to stay that same size, do they want to increase the revenue at that size? Do they want to have more free time, remove themselves from that business so that they can spend more time on their hobbies, families, what have you? We can really help them grow. And that's kind of what that resource or that help desk is, to ask those correct questions and then provide the feedback.
You're taking a customized approach with each business out there. They basically have a dedicated account manager, is that correct?
That's correct. They've got a dedicated account manager that, again, is their resource. They can contact them at any time. That person's going to be familiar with their business, and that account manager has resources that help do all the accounting and so forth. And if that account manager doesn't have the answer, somebody in the organization definitely can, and that's our job. Jim and I really work to make sure that all our account managers are supported, that they know that it's okay to say, hey, I don't have the answer now, but I'll get it.
In a perfect world, they got a hold of you right at the beginning of business, because this way you don't learn what's out there. But I imagine it's kind of nice coming into a seasoned business and they look at you guys and say, why didn't I call you guys much earlier than this?
Well, sometimes it takes a couple of messages from the School of Hard Knocks before they're ready. Sure. And that's fine. Our mission is to end small business failure in whatever it takes, whenever.
And I think you guys are providing two of the top greatest assets out there of any business would need, and that is number one, time. Also, you're saving them money. I imagine when they consolidate all these different types of services together, you actually in the long run can save them a lot of money.
Absolutely. We've got an example of a client that we're working with right now. We're saving them over $100,000 a year. They had some turnover that they were facing. We were able to jump in, kind of fill those holes that they had, and do it for about $100,000 less than they were paying their in-house people to do that work.
Wonderful. Folks, you got all the information right there. At the bottom of the screen is their website. You can check them out there. Basically, it's a business approach to simplify your life. You've got gentlemen here who are working with their team. Jared, what is the first step? Do they get online or they go get a quote? How does that work?
Get online, get in touch with us. We'll provide a quote for you. We'll get you started.
Excellent. And Jim, someone out there who's thinking about using your services, one last word from you.
It takes a village these days. I don't think any one person could run a small business. If Jared and I together could not run a small business, 10 of us probably couldn't. So it's true for us and it's true for everybody. Get the team you need. The right attorneys, banking, relationships. Don't do it alone. Do what you enjoy, really love. I suspect most small business owners are very, very passionate. That's why they set up their business, as Jared mentioned. Do that. I think that 4 out of 5 small business failure statistic, I'd love to see that in the rearview mirror.
You've got it all right there, folks, and I think the key word there that Jim said is running it effectively. Obviously, you don't want to lose the passion that you started initially with that business, and by having a lot of those mundane tasks, honestly, off your plate, I think the passion stays alive for you. This is Gary Atencia with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.